Hello guys, and welcome to our channel. And in this channel, I am Thavenesh with Read Along with Thavenesh. Today we will be reading the story called Alien Escape by Geronimo Stilton, Space Mice. And let's start. Alien Escape. My dear mouse friends, have I ever told you how much I love science fiction? I've always wanted to write incredible adventures set in another dimension, but I've never believed that parallel universes exist until now. That's because my good friend Professor Paul Swanwald, the brilliant secretive scientist, has just made an incredible discovery. Thanks to some mouse spectroscopic calculation, he determined that there are many different dimensions in time and space where everything could be possible. The professor's work inspired me to write this science fiction adventure in which my family and I travel through space in search of a new world. We are Fabian's crew, the Space Mice. I hope you enjoy this intergalactic adventure. Geronimo Stilton. Professor Paul Von The Space Mouse, Geronimo Stiltonix, Trap Stiltonix, Thea Stiltonix, Grandpa William Stiltonix, Robotics, Benjamin Stiltonix, and Bugsy. In the darkness of the farthest galaxy in time and space is a spaceship inhabited exclusively by mice. This Mouse vessel is called the Mouse Star 1, and I am its captain. I am Geronimo Stiltonix, a somewhat accident-prone mouse who, to tell you the truth, would rather be writing novels than steering a spaceship. But for now, my adventurous family and I are busy traveling around the universe and on exciting intergalactic missions. This is the latest adventure of these space mice. First chapter, Galactic Gorgonzola. It was a calm morning in space aboard the Mouse Star 1, the most famous spaceship in the universe. We were traveling at super warp speeds in the far-off Cheddar Galaxy. I was still asleep in my cabin, snoring blissfully when someone appeared behind me, sneakily took hold of my blanket and shouted in a robotic voice, "Yellow alert, yellow alert, yellow alert." My eyes flew open as if been stung by a swarm of space bees. It was Assistatrix, my personal assistant robot. "Galactic Gorgonzola," I squeaked. "What is it? What's wrong? Have aliens invaded? Did a meteorite hit the spaceship?" "Good morning, Captain Stiltonix," Assistatrix announced in his metallic voice. "It's 7 o'clock intergalactic time. It's time to get up, time to get up, time to get up." "Assistatrix, how many times have I told you not to wake me up with the yellow alert?" I grumbled. "Couldn't you use a more relaxing alarm like Symphony of Galaxy?" "Negative, Captain," he replied. The yellow alert is the only one that works with you. Now, get up, get up, get up." A long mechanical arm extended from a compartment in the Assistatrix back. The arm grabbed me by the tail and lifted me up like a fish on a hook. "Hey!" I squeaked. "Put me down." "I'll get at the speed of light, I promise. I'll get ready at the speed of light, I promise." I should have kept my snout shut. A second later, he released me suddenly and bam, I crashed on the ground, smacking my snout against the floor and crushing my whiskers. Ouch. Sometimes I really wish that the Mouse Star 1 didn't have artificial gravity. In zero gravity, I would have just floated away instead of crashing to the floor. I rubbed my sore whiskers as Assistatrix continued to squeak at me. "Captain Stiltonix, you are late, 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 late. It's time to wash, time to wash, time to wash." Martin Mozzarella, he can't treat me that way. I'm the captain of this ship." "Oops, I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Stiltonix, Geronimo Stiltonix, and I'm the captain of Mouse One, the most famous spaceship in the entire universe. As his statics grabbed me by the tail and pushed me into the wash o mouse. The the ship's space age shower. As soon as the door closed, I was hit with a powerful jet of icy water. As he statics, I cried with my teeth chattering. The wash o mouse. Phase 1, wash. Phase 2, scrub, 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 scrub. Phase 3, dry. This shower is freezing, but 3 rotating brushes had already grabbed me, squeezed me, scrubbed me, polished me, and buffed me. Finally, I was hit with a blast of hot air to flap up my fur. Yo! I squeaked. Assistant this air is boiling hot. Why, oh, why was I being subjected to such terrible treatment? I never wanted to be a spaceship captain. My greatest dream in life is actually to become an author. I've always wanted to write a novel about adventures of the space mice, but I never seem to have time. I'm always too busy zipping around the galaxy as the captain of the Mouse Star One. I stumbled out of the washroom mouse and shook out my fur. Then Assistant opened the door to my closet for me. Captain Stilton, today I recommend you to wear your dress uniform. Assistant said, there is a control room visit scheduled with the former captain of the ship, the retired admiral, His Excellency, the great William Stilton. What? I squeaked. Grandfather William is coming to the control room today? Why am I always the last one to know? Help! Chapter 2. I always get space sick. Get dressed, get dressed, get dressed. Assistant continued, handing me a super fancy special dress uniform. I tried to put it on, but I had gained a little weight since the last time I wore it. Holy spaceship! I couldn't fasten my belt. Don't worry, Captain, Assistant assured. I've got it. And with that, he grabbed me, spun me around, crushed me, bashed me, smushed me, and tucked on me until finally, click, my belt was fastened. I was finally dressed, but I couldn't relax yet. Captain Stilton's super fancy special dress uniform, wristwatch with phone, anti-space wind collar, wedge of golden cheese badge of the space mice, multifunctional belt able to instantaneously translate all intergalactic languages, spacewalk boots, suction cups on soles in case of loss of gravity. Hurry! Assistant shouted at me. The Astrotrax is waiting for you. And he dragged me by the tail to one of the waiting mini ships that transport space mine around the Mouse Star One. Take Captain Stilton to the Liftrix elevator to the control room, he ordered the driver, and do it at top speed. Help! I squeaked. I can't stand astro taxis. I always get space sick. But it was too late. Astro taxi zoomed off and I felt my stomach lurch. Mousy meteorites. I hoped I wouldn't toss my cheese. Finally, the Astro taxi stopped. I climbed out, wobbled towards the Liftrix, which is the special elevator that goes to the control room. Suddenly, I felt someone or something pinch my tail. It was Robotics. Robotics is a mischievous little robot. He is auto-programmed, auto-regulated, free-floating, and to be honest, a little annoying. He's convinced he knows everything, and he's always right. He never admits his mistakes, and he always wants to have the last word in every argument. What's the problem, Captain Stiltonix? Robotics asked with a giggle. Are you lost? Maybe you're looking for lift tracks to get to the control room. I know exactly where I'm going. Thank you. I began, but Robotics cut me off. It's okay, Captain Stiltonix, Robotics squeaked. I've always known that you have a lot of help with directions. Follow me. I didn't even have time to reply before. Robotics, multifunctional function robot. Origin, built on board the Mouse Star 1. Specialty, intergalactic communication. Identifying marks. Green head robotic. Arms and no legs. Flaws. He's a real chatterbox who always want to have the last word. Yep, the last word. Okay. He grabbed me by the tail and dragged me toward the clear tube. Go ahead, get on the lift tracks, he said bossily as he shoved me inside. Just press the red button for the control room. I know, I replied in exasperation. I'm the captain of the ship, remember? Of course, I knew what the red button was for. Suddenly, a powerful blast of air lifted me and hurled me upward like a meteor heading toward straight for the moon. Galactic Gorgonzola. Would I ever get used to the lift tricks? I always seemed like to get spacesick. From the Encyclopedia Galactica, lift tricks. The lift trick is the fastest and most comfortable way to move around inside a spaceship. It's a glass tube that sucks up the passenger in a strong blast of air, carrying the space mouse to the requested level of the ship. Orders are orders. Next chapter, okay? A few moments later, I popped out of the lift tricks and into the ship's control room. My tummy rumbled and I licked my whiskers at the thought of lunar cheesesteak that would be waiting for me at the command chair as it is every morning. It's my daily breakfast. I hoped my grandfather hadn't arrived yet so I could enjoy my shake in peace. If you're watching till now, and a subscribe channel would be great. Okay. But before I could even make my way to the command chair, my cousin Trap appeared out of nowhere. Geronimo, did you bring some cheese and crackers and a few bottles of fizzy feta flavored sodas to celebrate our new mission? What new mission? I asked. No one told me we were going on a new mission. Why am I always the last to know? Trap shook his head. Disappointment. Geronimo, I expected you to be prepared, he said. What kind of captain are you? Prepared? How could I be prepared when I was always the last to know what was happening? To show him that I was the real captain, I sat down to the in the command chair to show him that I knew exactly what I was doing. I pressed a bunch of buttons on the arm of the chair. I never done that before, but it seemed like the right move. Whoops, big mistake. Zip, zap, zop. A set of mechanical arms appeared from beneath the chair. One arm sprayed me with a fire extinguisher, another twisted my tail into a knot. One arm splashed my feet with water, and another offered me a cheese sandwich. Just then, the door to the control room flew open. What in the universe is going on here? Boomed the voice I knew well. Martin Mozzarella. It was my grandfather, William, retired captain of Mausta 1, had arrived. I jumped out of my chair to greet him, but even before he even said hello, He pressed a button on the chair that made all the mechanical arm retract. Then he flopped down in my chair, putting his paws on my power and started to sip my Luna cheesecake as if he had never retired. Hi, grandfather. To what do I owe this friendly visit? What do you mean, friendly visit? He yelled, glaring at me. I'm not just stopping by to say hi. Can't you see that I'm in my high command uniform? I took the trouble to come down here from my super luxurious cabin because of the extremely serious matter. The Mouse Star One is about to explode. What? What? The Mouse Star One, our famous spaceship, was about to explode. This was extremely serious. Why am I always the last to know? Grandfather William took 3 gulps of my shake and shook his head with disapproval. Because you should already know, but you've always got your head in the stars reading and writing science fiction books. I'm beginning to wonder if I should turn the command of the ship over to your sister. Yeah. Is the Monster One really going to explode? I interrupted. I may not be the best captain, but I didn't want to lose command of my ship. Oh, grandson, do I need to explain everything to you? He replied impatiently. Do you know how the engine of the ship works? Of course, I replied indignantly. The tetrastellar batteries, they collect stellar energies and what happens when the stellar energy battery overheat? Grandfather prompted me. I hesitated. Well, let's see. Maybe the engine explodes. Of course, he snorted. And we all burn up like meteor entering the Earth's atmosphere. I shuddered. I didn't like the idea of burning up one bit. Likely I'm here and I've already found the solution. From the Encyclopedia Galactica, Tetrastellium. The Mouse Star One speeds along quickly through the galaxy thanks to the powerful batteries made out of tetrastellium, an element that is able to last for thousands of centuries. Unfortunately, though, the tetrastellium is also very rare. When a long voyage is planned, it's important to have a good supply in case the battery runs low. Found a solution, Grandpa boasted. We need new batteries so we can stabilize the engine. Unfortunately, through the tetrastellium power, the batteries is real element and it exists only in few elements. But we'll find it. Okay, grandfather, but what do you mean? B, I asked. Aren't you retired? Geronimo, I give you command of the ship and I can also take it away if I want to, he replied. But grandfather, if you take away my command, what will all my friends all over the crew and all the captain of all the other ships in the universe think about me? Grandson, there must be a black hole in your head if you think that you can solve a problem with this enormous without some help. While you were sleeping, I had already identified a planet only 3.7 light years away from us that may have tetrastellium, the planet Ratos. We are going there immediately. But, grandfather, I was just about to begin writing my novel. I began, but he cut me off. Orders are orders, grandson, he commanded, and I am ordering you to do what I say. Next chapter. Once in a blue cheese moon. Just then the door of the control room opened again. This time it was my beloved nephew Benjamin. Benjamin and his best friend Bugsy. Benjamin rushed towards me. Hi, Uncle Geronimo, he squeaked. Can we stay with you in the control room today? I was just about to reply when a green creature covered in leaves of the tips of his ears, from the tips of his ears to the end of his tail, entered the room. It looked like walking brush, but I knew it was Professor Greenfur. Professor Greenfur comes from the planet photosynthesis, and he is our official onboard scientist. He knows all the species of any plants and animals in the entire galaxy. I should be his home. Welcome, Professor, I greeted him. We could use your help finding the tetrastellium that we need to power the Mouse Star 1's battery. At your service, Captain Stilton, Professor Greenfer replied. Though I'm surprised to hear that we are running low on tetrastellium, it lasts for centuries and it needs to be replaced once in a blue cheese moon. In other words, almost never. I nodded. I know, Professor, but it's true, I explained, trying to sound like a responsible captain. And if we don't find more tetrastellium soon, the Mouse Star 1 will explode. What? Benjamin and Bugsy Wugsy exclaimed in unison. Benjamin looked up at me with wide eyes. Uncle, is it true? He asked, a worried look on his snout. Are we in danger? I hugged my little nephew closely. Or, of course not, I told him. We can leave the Mouse Star 1 in our space pods if necessary, but we won't have to do that. I won't be satisfied until our mission completes. Mission to find more tetrastellium is complete. Hooray! Benjamin Bugsy Bugsy cheered. Now I just have to make good on my promise. Next chapter. Okay, I think we'll be ending with another 2 more chapters. I think so, but this is actually part 1, so stay tuned for part 2. At that moment, I heard next chapter. I forgot that. Code Red, Alien Invasion. At that moment, I heard a lovely, melodious voice. Captain Stiltonix, the engines are ready for hyperspeed, the voice said. I looked up and saw a rodent with long, curly purple hair, eyes as blue as Luna Lake, and irresistible smile. It was Sally Daybreak, the ship's expert in photon security. Circuitry, hyperspace engines, stellar energy, and the loveliest rodent on North Tower. Captain, did you hear me? She asked. I need your order to go to hyperspeed. Yes. Of course. I babbled. Sally Direct, official mechanic of the Mouse Star 1. Species, rodent. Origin, mouse planet. Specialty, circuits and engines. Characteristic, excellent at repairing any kind of machine. Defining features, she wears a hairpin in the shape of a wrench that she occasionally used tighten bonds. Babbles, go ahead and fire it up. Let's go. I tried to sound official and captain-like, but I'm pretty sure I had failed miserably. The engine started with an ultrasonic bang. A moment later, the Mouse Star 1 was heading toward the planet Retos. We sailed for hours before Sally finally signaled that we were almost there. We've arrived in the area near Retos, she said. Decrease speed. We have arrived. Retos was a large planet with enormous pink splotch in the middle of it. The splotch sparkled in our main screen like a gigantic splash of strawberry ice cream. I didn't have time to celebrate our arrival, though, because suddenly a hideous beast appeared next to my chair. It was the teeth. It was all teeth, antenna, and tentacles. Ah! I squeaked. Code Red, alien invasion. Suddenly the beast started laughing. Then it took off its mask and I saw it was my cousin Trap. Ha ha ha, Trap laughed. I really got you that time, Geronimo. Oh, how I love playing jokes on you. I gave you a real scare, didn't I? Because you did, I replied. But why would you do that to me? I should have been able to guess Trap's response. Isn't it obvious? I'm just trying to keep you on the tips of your paws. Our grandfather, Admiral William told me to keep an eye on you. I'm supposed to make sure that you are always awake, alert, and ready for anything, and I'm carrying out his orders. Mausian meteorites. Why me? After all, I'm your second in command, Trap continued. Don't you see the yellow uniform I'm wearing? It's the uniform of the Lieutenant Trap Phoenix. Sounds good, doesn't it? Then he gave me a giant clap on the shoulders. Come on, cousin, he said. Before we land on this planet, let's have a snack together in the cafeteria. Your treat, naturally. My stomach. Then he gave me a giant clap on the shoulder. Come on, cousin. Naturally, your treat, naturally. My stomach grumbled. Since Grandfather William had stolen my lunar cheesesteak, I had skipped breakfast. I was really hungry. We arrived at the Space Yum Cafe and I looked over the day's menu. I was quickless. The specials were plutonium stone soup with lichen toast moss for springs and spicy seaweed piella crust. Black Holy Galaxy, I squeaked. This food isn't for mice, it's for space rocks. Cap said, don't let the new cook hear you. He's very sensitive. The new cook was an orange creature with tentacles, claws, arms, 3 eyes, and an apron speckled with mysterious fluorescent stains. Hello, Captain. I'm Squeezy, the ship's new cook. He introduced himself. Please make yourself comfortable. I can't wait for you to taste all the fantastic alien specialties that I can make. Actually, I'm not very hungry today, but Quick Squeezy wouldn't let back down. I insisted, Captain, he said. Please sit down, I'll serve you in a moment. But he didn't even take our orders. I whispered to Trap, how does he know what I want? It's obvious, Trap replied. He doesn't, but our grandfather, Admiral William, told him you haven't been eating enough healthy food lately. So you're on a seaweed only meal plan. I, on the other hand, will have a nice cheddar shake with chocolate space sprinkles as usual. Oh, sorry. Quick Squeezy, Mouse once on board cook. Species alien. Origin comes from the planet Green. Specialties experimental fine cuisine. He believes he's a great chef. Defining features. He has 2 arms, 2 claws, 2 tentacles, 2 wings, and 3 eyes. Marchand mozzarella. I squeaked. I want a cheddar shake with chocolate space sprinkle too. But the cook interrupted me. Here you are, Squeezy said. I've made you a soup of blue seaweed from Vega. It's very healthy. Admire Williams' orders. Space Yum Cafe. The Space Yum Cafe's Monster One's restaurant is the perfect spot for space mouse who want to relax with a tasty snack for a fine dinner. Squeezy, the cook, specialties in delicacies such as blue seaweed soup, moon dust pasta, and cheddar shakes with chocolate cake pickles. A beer live yellow alert. Suddenly, a siren went off and a robotic voice shouted, Yellow alert, yellow alert, yellow alert. Holy craters, that wasn't assistant's alarm clock. It was real live yellow alert. What's going on? I shouted. A tiny yellow light started to spin around me. It grew and grew and grew until a hologram of Rodden's face appeared right into my snout, right in front of my snout. I was completely yellow. It was hologramic, our trusty onboard computer. Its hologram is programmed to appear wherever it's needed. There's an emergency, Captain Stilton's hologram told me. You must go to the control room immediately. But what's going on? I asked again. Can't you tell me before we get to the control room? Hologramics. Monster One's onboard computer. Species. Ultra advanced artificial intelligence. Specialty. Controls all function on the ship, including The autopilot function characteristic considers itself to be indispensable. Defining features appears wherever and whenever it's needed. Hologramic shook its head. I am authorized to communicate secret information only in the control room. So I hurried toward the lift tricks and hopped inside. Then I pushed the red button as quickly as I could, but nothing happened. In case of the yellow alert, the lift tricks is shut down. Hologramics reminded me. You must use physical energy to transport yourself. I was confused. Physical energy? I asked. Use the stairs, it explained, rolling its eyes. Then I disappeared like a puff or moon dust in a wind. Getting to the control room using salutation models. Getting to the control room using physical energy was more exhausting than I thought it would be. I went upstairs, stairs, and more stairs until I finally arrived in the control room. I was drenched in sweat, short of breath, and my tongue was hanging out. Trap didn't lose the chance to make a joke at my expense. Cousin, you've worked out more, he chided me. You are slower than a super lazy astro slug. On the other paw, I'm in the great shape. I exercise in the ship's techno gym every morning. From the Encyclopedia Galactica, super lazy astro slugs. These creatures live on the planet Slotus, where they limit themselves to sleeping all day and night. The planet is covered in enormous cushion that the super lazy astro slugs lie on without moving. To right is a picture of a super lazy astro slug in its most active state. Be quiet, you two, Tia squeaked. Hologramics needs to communicate with us. Hologramic's bright yellow face floated in the center of the control room. Captain, we've released an alien communication. Hologramic said. Galactic Gorgonzola, my biscuits trembled with fright. The message came from planet Ratos. Hologramic's controllers. Speaking of reptiles, I've made a few calculations to determine the size of the planet orbit, including, according to proton velocity, the size in the quantum phobon is robotics snorted under his breath. What a planetary pain, he grumbled. Hologramics thinks it knows everything just because it's supercomputer. Unfortunately, Hologramic heard him. How dare you insult me, you hunk of scrap metal? Hologramics replied. I'm the most advanced form of electric intelligence ever produced, and I have the most sophisticated programming of all time. At that point, I jumped in. Excuse me, Hologramics, but we don't have time for arguments, I explained. Now, please give us the message from Ratos. Hologramics transmitted the video messages, and the three strange creatures appeared on the control room, greeting intrepid space travelers. The figure said, we are pink mosoids from the planet Ratos. These creatures had a mosoid shape, meaning they looked like mice, but they were completely pink. Professor Greenfur scratched the leaf on his head thoughtfully. He muttered, very strange. I'm not familiar with this alien population. One of the pink mosoid waved a hand in greeting. Salutations, she said. We won't come in peace, honorable rodents of Mausta. We know that your ship is in danger, and we are here to help you. We can give you the tetrastellium that you need. This is a real stroke of luck, Geronimo Trap exclaimed. If they help us, the mission to find the tetrastellium will be more completed before it even started. But we could organize a galactic banquet to celebrate. It sounded like we were safe, but there was something strange about those pink mosaics. It all seemed too easy. Okay, a biscuit welcome. We invited our new mosoid friends onto the Mausta One. I was practically jumping out of my furs with nerve. How should we welcome our guests? I didn't want to be rude. We could give them a gift of a can of precious super concentrated oil, Sally suggested. No, we should give them a nice clump of ratting manure. that they can use in their greenhouse, Professor Greenfur said. No, Trap countered. I know just what they'll want. I'll tell Quick Squeezy to make it. One of his specialties, but no seaweed and no moss, just high quality cheese. The pink mosaic's ship had just entered into our hangar. Hologramics announced. I hurried to receive them, and everyone followed me. The pink mosaic's made a formal bow, then the tallest one, who seemed to be the leader, pointed to a floating sphere. This gift of Tetrastadium is a sign of intergalactic friendship, he said. The sphere opened. A mysterious box appeared right in front of us. It was filled with brim, with a shining pink substance. I cleared my throat. Thank you, friends, but maybe you were making mistake. I'm afraid this isn't the Tetrastadium. Tetrastadium isn't pink, it's blue. The tallest pink mosaid stepped forward. My rodent friend, you are right, he explained. Tetrastadium is usually blue, but this is very rare pink variety. Don't worry, it's absolutely the same as the blue Tetrastadium. It works great. The tall pink mosaid stepped closer to me and narrowed his eyes. You'll see the pink Tetrastadium will be very good for your species, he said. In fact, it will be perfect. I turned to Professor Greenfur, who was examining the contents of the box with his portable super detector. The sensors had confirmed it with 99.9999999%. Certainly, the professor announced to us, this is the stadium. Then he shook his head and whispered softly under his breath. It's so strange, though. I never knew there was a pink variety. Okay, so this one we'll do in part 2, and thank you for watching. A sub to this channel will be great. Bye.